this video, we are going to talk about the slope of a line. So the idea of slope is something that we encounter in our everyday life. So you can describe the slope or the steepness of the stairs that we are climbing up or down, no, by considering horizontal and vertical movement along them. So in conversations, we use words like gradual or steep to describe slope. So in mathematics, the mathematical definition of slope is actually very similar in what we say in our everyday life. So in math, a slope is used to describe the steepness and direction of lines. The ratio of rise to run is called the slope of a line. So let's take a look at these illustrations. So as you can see, slope here is represented by the variable m, specifically the small m, no? And then the formula of slope, as I was saying a while ago, that is rise to run, or the ratio of rise to run, or rise over run. Rise is the unit upwards of the graph, and run is the units either to the left or right of the graph. So let's take a look at this sample graph here. So as you can see, it has 2 points that is connected by a line, no? And then for you to be able to find the value of your rise, you need to count the units upwards the first point here. No? So in this case, we have 2 units upwards. No? And then yung run, you're going to count either to the left or right. So there is a condition po. No? Kapag yung run natin sa run, kapag siya ay sa right, just like this example, yung units, yung value ng units na ilalagay natin sa formula to get the slope is positive. Okay? If it is running to the right, it is positive. Kapag naman on the left, it is negative. Okay, so in this example, the value of our rise here is 2 units upwards. Kasi upwards lang naman yung rise, no? Wala namang nagra-rise downwards. No, lagi siyang pataas. So it is always positive yung rise. So lagyan natin ng label. So it is 2 units. 2 units upwards, no? And then yung run natin is to the right. So it is positive. Therefore, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is 4 units to the right. So computing the slope of this example, using the formula, of course, rise over run. So the slope is equal to rise 2 units over run, which is 4 units. So the slope is equal to, actually, simplifying this, the slope is equal to 1/2. So the slope of this line is equivalent to 1/2. Let us solve some more examples regarding the slope of a line. So let's take a look at this graph. Now let's say we will solve for its slope using this graph. So using the formula regarding slope, which is rise over run, let's compute for the slope of this example. So again, yung rise muna yung computin natin, which is yung units upward. So let's start from the first point. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Up until yung katapat ng second point. So this is 8 units upwards. And then yung run mo is to the right. So meaning, the value that you will get is a positive number. Kasi kapag sa right, positive. Kapag sa left, negative. As I was saying a while ago, no? So let's count from here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 units to the right. So it is positive. Now, computing its slope, we need to substitute the value that we get. So rise natin is 8 over yung run natin is 5. So this is now the slope of this line, 8 over 5. So you do not need to convert it into mixed number, no? Okay lang sa akin kahit improper. And then next example, let's say we have this line or graph. So again, let's solve for the slope of the line. So the formula is rise over run. And let's first count the rise, no? Which is the units upwards, the first point. So this is the first point. Let's count the units upwards. So we have 1, 2. We have 2 units upwards. And then yung run natin is going to the left side. Okay? So you will get a negative value. So let's count from here. We have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 units, but then it is going to the left. So this is equivalent to negative 3. So solving the slope of the line, we have m is equal to, yung rise natin is equal to 2, yung run natin is equal to negative 3. Rewriting this, the slope is equal to negative 2/3. So we have a negative slope for our second example. How about another example? So let's say we have this illustration and we will get again the slope of this line. Let's say we have the formula of our slope, which is rise over run. So again, we need to count the units upwards, which will be the value of our rise from the first point, which is here. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 units upwards. And then the run is going to the right side. So the run is positive. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 units to the right. It is positive, yes, because it is going to the right. So substituting what we get, we now have our slope. Rise natin is 4. Run natin is positive 6. Simplifying 4 over 6, we will get 2/3 or 2 over 3, and that will be the slope of this line, 2 over 3. And then we have the last example. Okay. So these are the points. So again, we will solve for the slope, which is the rise over run of this line. Okay, so let's count the units upwards from the first point. So starting from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 units upwards. And then the run is going to the left side of the graph, no? Papunta tayo sa kaliwa. So therefore, the value of the run is negative kasi it is going to the right, to the left. Okay? Kaya siya negative kasi pakaliwa siya, going to the left. So therefore, let's count. Starting from here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 units, so it will become negative 4 because it is going to the left side. Kaya negative siya. So substituting what we get to solve for our slope, we now have rise is always positive, as I was saying a while ago. No? So we have 5 over yung run natin is negative 4. And then rewriting that, we have negative 5 over 4 as our slope. So even though yung negative sign ay nasa baba ng ratio or ng fraction, you need to rewrite that and gawin nyo siya nasa numerator. No? So that is how you get the slope of a line using a graph. And then there are classifications. No? Meron tayong mga classifications kung paano natin malalaman yung itsura ng line based sa slope na nakuha natin. So according to this, kapag yung slope na na-solve natin is positive, like this illustration, the structure or yung itsura nung line ninyo is going to the right. No? Kapag positive yung na-solve nyo na slope, you can imagine that the line is going to the right side. Okay? And then, like this example, no? Napansin nyo, yung nasa illustration, yung nasa graph, yung line niya is going to the right side, no? Or rises to the right. And then, right after natin isolve yung slope, we see that the slope of this type of line is always positive. Positive siya lagi. Okay? If it is rising to the right or rises to the right or going to the right. Kapag naman rises to the left or going to the left, yung line mo, you can assume that the slope of such lines are negative. Like this graph. No? Papakaliwa yung taas niya. Nung kinumpute natin yung slope niya, negative yung slope niya. So therefore, we can conclude na if we solve slopes and then ang lumabas na slope mo ay negative, you can imagine that the line is going to the left side or rises to the left. Okay? And then, there are some special cases, no, wherein we will get an undefined slope. No? Paano natin malalaman, paano tayo makakakuha ng undefined na slope? Kapag yung run natin is equivalent siya sa 0. Okay? Kasi sa fractions, when the denominator is 0, that is undefined. When the numerator is 0, that is equal to 0. So when we get 10 over 0 as our slope, the slope is undefined. No? And then the line automatically is a vertical line. You can imagine that the line, that the illustration of the line is a vertical line. Yung itsura ng line, you can imagine na vertical siya kasi you get an undefined slope. Okay? And then, some special cases din, paano naman kapag yung rise yung equal to 0? Like this example. So, kanina yung run yung equal sa 0 and the slope will be undefined. The line is a vertical line. Kapag naman yung rise yung equal to 0, like this example, so we have 0 over 4, that is equivalent to 0. The slope is 0, therefore, you can conclude that the line is a horizontal line naman if you will get a 0 slope. So if you will get a positive slope, the line will rise to the right. Okay, if you will get a negative slope, the line will rise to the left. If you will get an undefined slope, the line is a vertical line. Kapag nakakuha naman kayo ng slope na 0, the line is a horizontal line. Like this example. So let's identify what is the slope and what type of line of this examples here, given the value of the rise and run. So let's say, for example, we have 2 as our rise here on the first example and we have 4 as our run. If we will be solving the slope of this example, ang makukuha natin is rise over run, 2 over 4. If we simplify that, that is equal to 1/2. Yan yung makukuha nating slope, di ba? 1/2. And 1/2 is a positive number. Therefore, we can conclude na yung line, kapag ginraph mo yung slope na to is going to the right or rises to the right. Rises to the right side. Okay? And then the second one, we have 6 as our rise, and then we have -2 as our run. Okay, what will be the slope? So rise over run, we have 6 over -2. If we simplify that, we will get -3. Therefore, we get a negative slope. So in that case, kapag negative yung slope na nakuha mo, you can assume that the type of line that you will get if you graph this will rise to the left, or it rises to the left side. Okay? And then, the third one, we have 7 as our rise and 0 as our run. If we get the slope of this example, we will get 7 over 0. Kapag yung denominator mo yung 0, that is undefined. Therefore, kapag ang nakuha niyong slope ay undefined, the type of line that you will get if you graph it is a vertical line. Okay? And then lastly, the last example, we have 0 as our rise and then -3 as our run. If we simplify this, that will be equal to 0 over -3. And kapag yung numerator nyo ay 0, that is equal to 0. Okay? And if you get a 0 as the slope, you can picture out that the graph of this slope is a horizontal line. So that's it. No, that is how you get the slope of a line by taking a look at the graph, and that is how you identify the type of the line given the slope of a line.